Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For if you are new here, my name is Liz and I love to talk about the construct of reality and metaphysical concepts and cycles and patterns. But I also do feel that I sometimes just want to talk it out a little bit, and I'm curious if more people like me are experiencing this in the same kind of way. Because this morning I had a coffee with a guy on the beach. This was planned already for a week or something, and the guy is a little bit older. Not that doesn't matter, but it was not like a romantic thing or something. It's more about becoming more social on this island where I live, because sometimes I feel it's difficult to get out there to really show myself. Like I cannot really connect with people in a kind of deeper way. I have my friends who are in Europe, and with them it feels like we speak the same language. We look at reality and lessons and things exactly the same, or we help each other in that way to understand our soul journey and why some things pop up on our path and why we are sometimes in a kind of loop, like, oh my god, this happens all the time with me, and is there a lesson in it? Is the universe or God or our higher self showing me a lesson, and is it happening over and over again because there is something to learn in that way? And but I also know I need to get out there. I need to find more people, and I'm getting there. I moved. I live on Nusa Lembongan, a small island from the coast of Bali. I moved here 3 months ago. So yeah, I also need a little bit of time, of course. Since a month, me and my ex-partner, we broke up, so it's also a little bit, we were a lot together all the time. We were sticking together, and yeah, I know I need to get out there. So if someone asks me for like a coffee or something in the morning, I'm not like, yeah, why not? Let's do that. So we had this coffee this morning, and in the beginning it was really nice. He also has a dog, and I brought my dog, and we were just chatting about the dogs, and there were so many dogs around us, playing with each other, and yeah, it was really nice until we went like a kind of level deeper. And this guy said that he likes to be challenged, to go into conversations with people who look different at reality. And I thought, okay, that's nice, So we started talking, but then I didn't got any space to talk. Like, that sometimes that people have, that they take over the whole conversation. And this person is also British, so of course English is his mother language, and for me, I know how to communicate, of course, in English, but sometimes, especially with British or American or Australian people, I always get a little bit more nervous. Am I not making mistakes or something? It's always, for me, way easier to express myself when I'm talking to Germans or Italians or Spanish people, French people. I don't know, because I think then the pressure is gone or something. And and at some point he was just talking and talking and talking and talking, and I think I know a lot about his life right now. And then I wanted to also explain a little bit, but I got really cut off immediately. And so I thought, okay, I will wait until you breathe again, and then maybe I can say something. And and at some point, because he said that he likes to be challenged with people who think completely opposite of him, I started like a little bit telling my story, and that the last 3.5 years was for me a lot of understanding myself and discovering astrology and human design and work with these systems and just to understand my own patterns and cycles and energy fields, but also to learn these kind of systems and talk to other people about it, that it's really interesting to get to know yourself a little bit and also see why certain patterns and cycles are coming back all the time. And then he started saying things about like it's not good to stay in that for a long time, and maybe you can have a shitty day and that is fine. I said, yeah, of course. And at some point we tried to go a little bit deeper somehow, but everything I said was just no, I don't believe that. No, it's not like that. And it was not even that I think he didn't understand me. He was just talking on a completely different frequency than I was. And I experienced this a lot. Also, in the past. And sometimes you have with these people that you start talking and before you know it, 3 hours passed, because you are like kind of speaking the same language. I had that with the one guy one time when I was in an airplane back from Lisbon and I had to stop over in Abu Dhabi. And we started talking quite early in the beginning of our flight, and this flight I think was like 5 hours, and we just talk, like it just connects, and we gave each other space and we listened to each other. And he told me he taught me new things in life I never heard of, and I did that for him, and it was just like such a nice conversation. But this morning, it is not that this guy was rude or, it was just that I didn't got any space. And I was really aware of that. And at some point, I just made him I just let him talk. And at the end, I thought, okay, I know so much about you, but you don't know anything about me. And then after that, he texted me. And he said, you're a lovely person. Don't hold yourself in, Don't shrink yourself, he said. And I thought, oh my God, the irony, there's like this irony here that I want to express myself. I want to expand myself. But if I don't have the space for that, I shut down completely. Or if I have the feeling, okay, now I can say something, and then suddenly I have the feeling I have to come up with my words and my sentences very quickly, otherwise he is taking over the conversation already. And at that moment, also what I realized is that like the basics of how someone can perceive reality can be completely this reality that we've been taught. And it's like this narrative that we learn on school, or like the narratives that are being told by the mainstream media. And these people, they believe everything, and that is their reality, and that is also fine. I mean, I'm not here to say what you're believing is not right, because I believe in fractals and resonance, and for that person that reality can be perfectly fine, right? But that doesn't mean that there are also people who look a little bit further in the reality, or like the world we live in. And for me, it feels sometimes so sad that people want to be challenged, but at the same time, they don't ask questions when you explain them something and say, yeah, but why it makes you feel like this? Or how did you come up with that thought? Or can you tell me more about that? Then you feel like someone is holding space for you, and you can really be yourself and expand yourself and talk a little bit about how you perceive reality. And this is for me the main thing why sometimes, I feel sad that I don't have people close to me in my surroundings then, with who I can philosophize about these kind of concepts and our soul journey and why things happen. At that moment, I also realized, and I don't want to make a statement now when I say this is the truth, but it's just what I experience a lot, is that the older generation is more stuck in the matrix, let's just call it like that, so everyone knows what I'm talking about, more stuck and less willing to understand a different worldview besides that. Oh, hello, Chuck. Yeah, come by here. And I see this also back with, young podcasters that I listen to, and they are interviewing like the older generation, and the older generation also says, I'm really hopeful for the younger generation, because they are the generation that is actually asking questions about the narrative and asking questions about reality and want to know more and kind of sense that there is more. While the older generation is more like, no, that is too far away here from my bed. I don't want to listen to that. While they at the same time, they say they are open-minded and want to know more about people who have a different perspective than them. So I was really I was thinking about this, and I thought I really want to make a video about this and just see if there are more people who experience this as well. Because it doesn't mean that you have to go into all the rabbit holes and all the conspiracies, and I mean that is like a completely rabbit hole deeper, But for example, talking about fate or destiny or how one person sees it, is life meaningless, or is life meaningless and you give it yourself meaning, or are we coming here with a kind of template as a soul and we already choose our own experiences, but how we walk through that hallway of all these different doors with all these different experiences, that is up to us, just like these little conversations I would love to have with people, but sometimes I feel it's not really possible, or I haven't found my tribe yet. Because what I found interesting is that a couple of weeks ago I created a Bumble BFF to find a friend online, and then maybe someone who lives nearby here also, but most people are in Bali. And other people who are online, when you have to write a bio for yourself, it's all, I love to philosophize about life and aliens and multidimensionality. So I also explained that to this guy, and I said, it's sometimes difficult to find really the people with who you connect, but I know they are out there because I'm watching so many podcasts of people and they think exactly the same like me. But I think 95% is really just so stuck in the way they taught us to think about life. And the other 5% are scattered all around the globe. And I also believe that there is a reason for that. Because we probably have to wake people up or make them aware or shine our lights or... And then he said about this Bumble thing, like, yeah, but it's not good to stay with people talking online, and I think we need real conversations. And I said, yeah, that's true, but how are we gonna find the people who think a little bit the same like you if you cannot really quickly talk about these topics in the beginning? It's not like, hello, I'm Liz, and my hobby is talking about the architecture of reality. And he asked me this. He said, what is for you like a really good day, for example? Like, what makes you really happy? I said, I love to talk and listen and expand my mind. And Dolores Cannon calls this something so beautiful. She says mind-bending candy or something, or brain candy, you get like almost stuck in thinking about these concepts of consciousness, but it's so interesting. And I said that, this is what I really like to talk about. And that would for me like be a really nice day to sit on the beach and have a conversation about life. And yeah, I want to learn also from someone like what are the things that makes you scared, or what are the things that keeps you up at night, or what are your flaws, and what would you say about yourself are like very positive sides of you. And I sometimes feel that it's difficult for some people to go into that, because I was talking with him in the morning, and he just expressed a little bit about some things that happened in his life, and I was listening, and he said, "Oh, we already go deep at 9 o'clock in the morning." And I thought, deep? I think this is a normal conversation that we're having right now. I mean, I'm not there yet. So he texted me at the end later, like an hour later, about this, you're a lovely person, and don't shrink yourself, And I thought, okay, what shall I say now? In a respectful way also. And so I thought I will leave it first. I'm gonna have some breakfast. And then he texted me again, like, did I offend you with something? I said, no, you didn't offend me at all. But I would love to expand myself way more if I get the space for that. And with a wink, I did it. And I didn't want to be a bitch, and but I also didn't want to say nothing, And he said, "Oh, okay, well noted." And I thought, okay, yeah, maybe he thinks back about it now, and that he was like talking for 80%. And when I started talking a little bit, he was like immediately filling in my sentences, and it went all the other way, the other route again. And yeah, and this is for me the reason why I sometimes just shut my mouth. And I'm so curious if you experience this also, because you are watching my content. And I think many people like me and others, it feels sometimes like we have to dump down our conversations for 95%. And that's really tiring. I mean, I can easily have a conversation about how the coffee is and the beach dogs. And I know this beach dogs and the owner is there and is now leaving, but it's coming back. And, like just normal things, it's easy for me. But I don't really get challenged by that. My brain doesn't get challenged by that. And he also said to me at some point, yeah, but don't you get tired to think all the time about all these things? Like, don't you want to just like have a laugh and have an easy conversation about nothing? And I said, yeah, of course I want that, but it's not that I make my brain tired with this. Because my parents also said this sometimes, like, why you think so much? Don't you get tired of this? No, it's just the way I think. It's the way my brain works. And I wish more people are experiencing the same. And I really hope the newer generation, I mean, I already see that the generation is like more aware, and our generation is also not watching the news at 8 o'clock in the evening, while the older generation still is. So they hear the same narrative over and over and over again. I think it's difficult to bring their mind somewhere else, And I also love it when I hear older generations who are very aware talking in these podcasts with younger people and say like, you guys are so much more aware, and I felt so lonely when I grew up, and it's really nice to talk with the newer generation because I have the feeling they understand me. And I don't know. I just wanted to explain this, express this, and no hard feelings for this guy. I hope next time I will still have a coffee with him, and I hope he will next time give me a little bit more space. and that I can also really become authentically me. And it's not about that I have to convince someone. I just want to inspire someone to look at reality differently. And yeah, I think that's just why I'm here. I think this is why I'm very aware of that also, because I was meant to look through a different lens at reality, while others maybe don't have that, you know, and that's fine. And I think this is why we are very spread around the globe, because I do believe we are here on a mission, guys. We are here on a mission, and to shine our light and give another perspective in yeah, that's why I'm doing this. Thank you very much for listening to this video and to my story of this morning. Yeah, I also want this YouTube channel is a little bit about expressing myself and explain to you guys what's on my mind, instead of only talking about brain candy and the construct of reality. So thank you so much, and hopefully I see you in the next one. Bye bye.